Mic check. We're in the Grand Canyon. I'm Rachel Drake. I am a mother, a pregnant person, a anesthesiology resident, and a professional trail and ultra runner. So today we crossed the Grand Canyon from North Rim to South Rim. It was 22 miles and 5,000 feet of climbing, and our moving time was 6 hours and 45 minutes. Thinking about structuring my week or my day to accommodate being a mother, a resident, and a runner varies from season to season. I think, if I'm deep in training for something, a lot of times the other two things are going to suffer a little bit, and it's about determining what season of life I'm in or what my current focus is, and then accepting that sometimes the other aspects of my life, whether it's maybe I don't get to pick my son up from daycare that day, or maybe I miss seeing him in the morning because I'm out running. Yeah, there's just a lot of sacrifices that have to be made. So, but also knowing that there will be other times where I'm taking a break from running and I can focus more on my family, on studying. I try to think of my life more like in years or in 2-year chunks, where I'm obviously right now I'm pregnant, and so I'm spending a lot more time focused on my medical career and spending time with my family and running when I can, but knowing that I'm not going to be traveling to races and competing at the highest level. So I kind of accept that that's the phase of life that I'm in, and not only accept, but try to embrace it and relish in it, and know that there will be another season in hopefully not too long where I'm back to doing well in races and training hard and sacrificing some other things. So yeah, I definitely never have a perfectly balanced day where I am a great resident and a great mom and a great athlete. Like, those three things never coexist super close together, but I still think they can complement each other quite well. I think when it comes to time management, I obviously rely on my husband, Tyler, a lot. He truly holds down the fort at home. He does the grocery shopping, most of the cooking, the dishes, and does a lot of the care for our son. But also there's just ways that I try to streamline things, like always having snacks available, or just making it easy to get out the door to run. Like, a big reason why we chose to do residency in Utah is because we can go less than a mile and be on great trails. So we kind of try to create an environment that just makes it easy for us to shift between our different roles. My trajectory in sport, I think it sounds kind of traditional in that, yes, I ran track and cross country in high school, and then I ran track and cross country in college, but I was never a standout athlete. I was always kind of on the cusp of being kind of good, but never really good enough. And I actually ended up taking a year off from running after college, just felt burnt out. And then I almost view trail running as a completely different pursuit than any of those things. Like, it's much more of a soul sport, and I think the joy that it gives me has allowed me to pursue it more wholeheartedly, as opposed to something that with track and cross country, I happened to be good at it and it gave me a lot of friends and a lot of opportunities, but my heart was never really in it. And I don't know, I like to think that even if I hadn't had a background in running from track and cross country, that I still would have found trail running as a separate entity. When I think about my most proud athletic accomplishment in the trail and ultra running space, I think about a race where I had a lot of fun and I feel like I really reached my potential. I did the Golden Trail Series stage race during COVID in 2020, and I kind of went into that race as somewhat of a no-name athlete, and Tyler, my husband and coach, said, don't be surprised if you're up there with the leaders. Like, that's not a crazy thing to happen. And over the course of the 4 days, I gained more and more confidence. And even on the first day, I wasn't too far off the lead and ended up winning the 4th stage there, which it wasn't all about winning. It was just about feeling like, okay, I belong here. I had a lot of fun in this training block. I'm having a lot of fun at this event. And I feel like I really put it all out there and kind of optimize everything I could. And this was representative of where I'm at fitness wise right now. So that was great. I think my white whale race is definitely Western States. I have so much love for that event and the people in that event, and we have a lot of family memories there now. This is the first year that we won't be there, and it's really sad. But with the pregnancy deferral, I have an entry into it in the future. So it's always something on my mind that I want to really train hard for that, optimize that, and go for it. I think it's really cool that there's a lot of attention on female athletes, especially around pregnancy and postpartum, around breastfeeding, and kind of celebrating those amazing stories of these women who have done some incredible things while, quite frankly, being very depleted. I mean, breastfeeding is metabolically demanding, and based on my experience, I personally can't imagine being able to run UTMB and be breastfeeding at the same time, or much less to win a race like Stephanie Case did. There's my experience with Lewis was I had a great pregnancy. I ran all the way up until the very end, and then felt like I was having a great return to running post-pregnancy, feeling like I'm doing all the right things and working with a pelvic floor physical therapist, doing strength work. And I ended up getting a sacral stress fracture about 4 months postpartum, which was really sad because running is such a big part of my identity. And then becoming a mother was a huge identity shift. And so I was trying to reclaim this part of myself that was really important to me. And then I lost it. So it was really hard. I think this time around, I think I'll probably do a lot of things similarly, but I will make sure that I'm ramping up my mileage a little bit more slowly. I'll really make sure that I'm eating enough food, because I think though I thought I was consuming enough calories, I probably wasn't. And then making sure that I work in some down weeks within a build, because if I look at my mileage increase from, when I started running at 6 weeks postpartum, it was just a steady increase in mileage, and there weren't really any dips in the load. So I think I'll just make sure that I incorporate some more downtime. I think when I look at the examples of Sophie breastfeeding at UTMB and Stephanie winning Ultra Trail Snowdonia while breastfeeding, coming from behind, it's super inspiring, absolutely. But I think it's cool how Stephanie also, kind of in the press release from her race, she said, I know that to some this is inspiring and to others this is discouraging. And I think it's really cool that she acknowledged that, because a lot of times the stories that get the most press are those amazing success stories that, while they should be celebrated, it shouldn't be seen as the expectation or the norm. I personally would love to be someone who could do those things, but I also don't want to be hard on myself if I am not able to accomplish them. And I also don't want to push myself to try to do something like that and then get hurt. So it's an interesting balance between, wow, this is amazing, we need to talk about this, but also for every woman who's winning races while breastfeeding, there's probably 10 other women who are getting stress fractures. Like, I can name 20 professional female athletes who have had stress fractures in their postpartum return to running, but those don't get spread around on the news like these other stories do. So it creates this this false sense of reality. I think having a lot of knowledge of physiology and what's happening with my body during pregnancy and postpartum, it's kind of a double-edged sword, because I know that there are a lot of things about pregnancy that are disadvantageous to training, at least in the moment, but I also like to think about the things that are advantageous about it. Like I know that my heart is getting a lot stronger. My whole cardiopulmonary system is getting a lot stronger. And though my body is changing in a lot of different ways, I think I tend to be optimistic in life, and I like to think more about the positives of it. And I think there's more emotional positives for me as well. Like, you know, when Tyler and I think about our lives, we're like, the thing that we said to ourselves a few years back is like, all right, yes, we want to do all these races, but ultimately the thing that's bringing us a lot of joy is like the prospect of having a family. That was something that was really important to us, and I think being able to do that is giving me a lot of fuel as well, a lot of emotional and mental fuel for running. So I'm 27 weeks pregnant, and we just crossed the Grand Canyon from North Rim to South Rim. And I think, there were a lot of amazing reactions from people throughout the trail, just like, "Go mama, that's amazing," which felt really nice. And I think definitely maybe even 5 years ago, it would have almost been frowned upon, like, that's unsafe, you know. But this journey for me as an athlete it's not such a crazy run to do, and to do it in a very controlled manner with a lot of other capable athletes who, you know, helped carry things for me, and taking it super slow. It just felt like a really joyful day, and making a memory with this little baby in here. So it's meaningful to just kind of know that I still have the ability to spend a day crossing an amazing landscape, but also to have, you know, this memory, and to show people that women and pregnant women can still move their bodies in the ways that they want to. Not the ways that they used to, but just to still do a lot of stuff.